Now a retelling of the Plunderer anime. Subscribe to the channel. It is very important for the development of the channel. In a grim future, humanity's worth is reduced to numerical imprints on their bodies. These digits, once they reach zero, condemn them to a dark abyss. Hina's life takes a harrowing turn when she witnesses her mother's descent into this abyss, but not before her mother entrusts her with a glass orb containing 10,000 units and imparts a cryptic mission: find the legendary ace marked by a white star. For 5 relentless years, Hina embarks on a quest to fulfill her mother's enigmatic request. One fateful day, she crosses paths with Licht, a peculiar figure concealed behind a mask, whose irreverent behavior belies a deeper purpose. Accompanying him is Nana, who unravels the stark truth governing their world: unwavering obedience to anyone bearing a higher numerical imprint. Hina shares her own number, 441, testament to her staggering journey spanning 44,100 kilometers. The plot thickens as they encounter a sergeant major adorned with a star-shaped mark on his face, who declares himself the ace. He attempts to exploit Hina until she unveils the 10,000-unit orb, recognized as a ballot, and seeks to claim it. Hina, holding a superior number, commands him to halt. However, he tricks her into a perilous challenge known as a star stake, a duel of high stakes where their numerical values are wagered. Following a brutal confrontation, he takes away 440 units from her, leaving her with a meager 1. Revelations follow as the sergeant admits he isn't the true ace, given that the legend of the ace dates back 3 centuries, suggesting the ace's demise. Suddenly, Licht materializes and places his own number on the line, a shocking -999. As their duel unfolds, the sergeant realizes that such a number is inconceivable unless Licht is a ballot holder, harnessing a numbered ballot to artificially restore his value above 0. Licht finally unveils his true identity as Licht Bach, the authentic legendary ace, marked by the white star and wielding a formidable sword bearing the number 5,700, signifying his countless victories in battle. He solemnly pledges to recover the 440 units taken from Hina, promising justice and restitution. Centuries ago, a cataclysmic conflict known as the Waste War engulfed the world. During this tumultuous time, a cadre of exceptional warriors, hailed as aces, emerged, demonstrating astonishing feats of superhuman prowess. Strangely, these aces vanished into obscurity once the war had subsided. Among them, Licht showcased his extraordinary abilities, dispatching soldiers with effortless ease through his remarkable speed, each step resonating with the power to fracture the very earth beneath him. Nana elucidated the origins of Licht's sobriquet, the ace of flashing strikes, rooted in his incredible velocity. While his numerical mark of 5,700 signified the tally of his defeated foes, the stark contrast of his -999 marked the count of women who had spurned his advances. In a decisive confrontation, Licht effortlessly triumphed over the sergeant, reducing his number to a mere 1. As an unexpected act of generosity, he returned not only the pilfered 440 units to Hina but also bestowed upon her the remainder of his numerical worth, elevating her count to 760. However, the mood swiftly soured as Licht surreptitiously spirited away Hina's cherished 10,000 ballot, replacing it with a seemingly innocuous stuffed doll. Hina was devastated by the loss of this treasured memento from her mother. Later, Nana unveiled Licht's ruse, disclosing that he had concealed the ballot within the doll and had merely pretended to steal it in the presence of witnesses. Ballots were contraband, and this strategic subterfuge ensured that the soldiers' pursuit would solely target Licht, sparing Hina from harm. Tearfully, Hina implored Licht to reconsider his departure, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. In a fit of despair, she exclaimed her resentment, thereby altering Licht's -999 to a harsher -1,000. In an unforeseen twist, Hina encountered one of the soldiers, who unveiled his true identity as a spy. He expressed gratitude for her unwitting assistance and promptly conveyed to his covert superiors that they had at last pinpointed Licht's whereabouts. The military paid little heed to Hina, instead intensifying their search for Licht, convinced that he possessed the coveted ballot. In a tranquil village, Master Sergeant Lin Mei, along with her subordinate, Sergeant Pele Paporo, held their station. Lin dedicated her time to volunteer work, and her numerical count steadily rose in accordance with the number of desperate individuals she aided. Acting on a description of Licht, Lin apprehended a nearby masked individual, an uncanny coincidence as it turned out to be Licht himself. Clinging to his mask, Licht divulged his -1,000 count, lamenting the rejections he had endured from women. Unfortunately, Lin, following misguided counsel from Pele, attempted to uplift Licht's spirits with a compassion-driven outing, unintentionally discovering that Licht's inherently improper behavior paradoxically raised her own count. This peculiar twist was attributed to Licht's peculiar and persistently perverse antics, which curiously helped to alleviate his own despair. Suddenly, Pele pointed out the significance of Licht's negative 1000 count, a telltale sign of a ballot holder. This revelation dawned on Lin, leading her to unveil Licht's identity by removing his mask. In an unforeseen turn, Licht absconded with her sword, only to realize that Lin was a skilled martial artist herself. Their brief skirmish was punctuated by Licht's flirtatious advances, which flustered Lin to the point where he managed to slip away when she closed her eyes, half expecting a kiss. This outcome greatly vexed her. Meanwhile, a lieutenant by the name of Jael Murdoch interrogated Nana relentlessly, seeking to extract information about Licht's whereabouts. Frustrated by Nana's evasive responses, Jael resorted to destructive measures, demolishing her food wagon. Undeterred, he set out on a determined pursuit to track down Licht. Following Licht's nimble escape, Lin persistently dedicated herself to her volunteer work, though a cloud of despondency hung over her due to the missed opportunity for promotion. Unexpectedly, Licht resurfaced, prompting Lin to pursue him through the village. Along the way, a series of comical misunderstandings arose, leaving the villagers under the impression that she and Licht were embroiled in a lover's quarrel. This inadvertent confusion provided Licht with the perfect escape route, especially when Lin voiced her grievances about her uniform repeatedly exposing her underwear. Meanwhile, Hina recognized the urgency of warning Licht about Lieutenant Murdoch's pursuit. However, they were compelled to first assist in rebuilding Nana's wagon. Licht couldn't help but ponder the villagers' curious preference for a peaceful existence over aiding in the apprehension of criminals. Lin's attempts to pursue Licht were continuously thwarted by the villagers' myriad troubles. Nevertheless, this unexpected camaraderie fostered admiration in Licht for Lin, leading him to reveal himself once more, allowing Lin to savor the thrill of the chase. In a dramatic turn of events, Licht gallantly intervened to protect Lin when Murdoch and his soldiers launched a sudden assault. During this encounter, Murdoch's numerical mark was unveiled as 900, accompanied by a ballot that endowed him with the ability to forge iron weapons, earning him the moniker Iron Jael. To Licht's astonishment, he found himself overpowered by Murdoch, who disclosed his clandestine agenda of concealing his true numerical value from superiors, dreading an impending promotion that would relegate him to a desk job within the confines of an office. Murdoch's authentic count stood at a staggering 12,500, more than double Licht's own. Murdoch achieved the improbable feat of wresting Licht's sword from him but chose to return it. In a revealing moment, he unveiled the significance of his numerical count, which symbolized his unwavering convictions. Murdoch's iron weapons drew strength from these convictions, rendering them indestructible, never having been bested. With Licht ensnared, he coerced Licht's surrender. Murdoch leveled a grave accusation against Licht, surmising that Licht had once been a soldier based on his combat style. When Licht adamantly refused to respond, Murdoch resolved to resort to torture. However, Lin courageously stepped in to protect Licht, sustaining injuries in the process. Murdoch, harboring disdain for Lin's leniency towards criminals over her charitable work, chastised her relentlessly. Lin was on the verge of apologizing until Licht intervened, preventing her from capitulating. In a surprising twist, Licht managed to break free from his restraints, revealing that he had always possessed the capability to overcome Murdoch's iron. As Licht and Murdoch unleashed their full potential, Licht demanded an apology from Murdoch for unjustly assuming that Lin was indolent when, in truth, she worked harder than anyone. Their intense confrontation led to the collapse of a cliff, sending Lin plummeting toward a perilous descent. In a moment of repentance, Murdoch attempted to rescue her, but Licht managed to reach her first. A tactless comment about her weight, however, triggered Lin's ire, causing Licht's count to diminish to a negative 1001. He then entrusted her to Murdoch, who allowed him to escape. Recognizing the wisdom in Licht's words, Murdoch set about creating a play area for the village's children using his iron abilities, marking a departure from his relentless pursuit of Licht. He decided to grant Licht a 3-day head start before resuming the search, with Lin agreeing to accompany him. In a poignant moment, as he reluctantly repaired a child's broken doll, Murdoch's formidable count decreased by 1, from 12,500 to 12,499, as he relinquished a portion of his convictions in favor of a more compassionate path. Licht found himself cornered after his clash with Iron Jael Murdoch when he learned that all the escape routes had been sealed off. Hina and Nana came to his rescue, revealing the grim situation. However, Hina couldn't help but harbor a tinge of jealousy, having witnessed Licht's valiant efforts to save another woman. She scolded him for seemingly abandoning her. In a twist of fate, Licht was compelled to intervene in a harrowing incident involving a girl named Pelmo, teetering on the brink of a fatal fall from an experimental aircraft. Helmo implored Licht and Hina to aid her in realizing her dream of achieving flight, despite the severe consequences associated with researching flight, which were punishable by death. Licht undertook the task of modifying her latest aircraft design, though he couldn't shake the nagging worry that he had inadvertently placed her in peril. Nonetheless, Hina commended his efforts and sought to learn more about his own aspirations. Licht, however, remained tight-lipped about his own dreams, opting instead to jest about wanting to catch a glimpse of Hina's panties, much to her chagrin. Helmo interjected, announcing the completion of the new aircraft. Their moment of relief was short-lived as soldiers descended upon them. Licht was left with no choice but to destroy the aircraft. Ingeniously, they convinced the soldiers that the damaged wings were merely windmill sails. A sudden abyss materialized, and Helmo made a heart-wrenching revelation. Her count was intrinsically linked to her dreams coming true, dwindling each time her aircraft failed to take flight. Now, her count had plummeted to 0. Hina attempted to rescue her, but the abyss fiercely fought back. In a desperate bid to save Hina, Licht intervened, but when the abyss collided with his sword, he was gripped by a violent flashback. Helmo, remarkably serene, willingly embraced the abyss, convinced that it wasn't death but rather the gateway to another world. She promised to reunite with them someday. Licht teetered on the brink of unconsciousness, his left eye inundated with a cascade of numbers, leaving everyone pondering the ominous turn of events. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel to see the continuation.